everyone. Welcome to the latest episode of the Dad and Daughter Download. I'm the dad, Kevin Williams.
And I'm the daughter, Alex Williams. And we're a boomer dad and millennial daughter talking sports, pop culture, and life from me in Manhattan and my dad at the Jersey Shore. And for this episode, we wanted to switch things up a bit. It's episode number 3. So we are joined by my brother, Brandon Williams, who is the vice president of global communications at Fanatics. And he's going to be chatting with us for this episode.
And on this episode, we'll also be talking a little bit about food, which we'll explain later. And of course, Alex's new favorite feature, Kevin Can't Even. And Alex, I will even give you this one to start, just to put a smile on your face, proving what a technical idiot I am. Before we started taping the podcast, I was running around the bedroom looking for my phone. I said, I know it's got to be here. I just used it. And probably about 3 or 4 minutes later, I realized that my phone was already connected so we could record this. And there it was sitting right in front of me. You would have enjoyed every minute of that.
I'm glad that you're sharing that with the group because that's just one of the many things I've had to listen to. And I'll spare you the embarrassment for other stories maybe another day. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Episode 3, you were set up on time when I came on. So every week we're getting there.
Well, that is funny. So we mentioned Brandon is our first weekly guest, partly because he's family, but partly because of his job. Brandon is, as Alex mentioned, the vice president of global communications for Fanatics, which most people know strictly for their sports clothing. And I mean by that is if you go online and you order a Giants shirt or a Penn State sweatshirt, or Alex is wearing a Rangers hat.
I think I got it at Fanatics.
Yeah, pretty much any of that, you are likely buying it from Fanatics. Of course, Fanatics is much more than that. Alex and I know that, but we're going to share that with Brandon. So first of all, Brandon, welcome to the podcast world.
How does it feel to be here?
It feels incredible. I can't believe I am the inaugural guest. You were talking about technical difficulties. Well, before we got on, I was echoing and had to find a solution, and probably took me a little bit quicker than it would have taken Dad to get to a place where they could start recording. But no, I'm proud of you guys for getting this off the ground. And I know Jill's been saying, my wife has been saying, the hardest thing is just getting started. She started a small business on social media that just gets started. So kudos to you for getting started, and excited to be on this episode.
Of course, Jill Williams will be a guest down the road for sure. We'll talk about her interesting vocation, what she's doing now, but not right away. We got to give her a few weeks. So anyway, I mentioned Fanatics, and again, probably most people know it for the sports clothing, but this company, from the time you've been with them, and I think you're 8 years?
No, it's going to be 10 next year.
Okay, 10 years.
Coming up on a decade, yeah.
The whole company has evolved tremendously in the 10 years you've been there. So if someone says to you, Brandon, what is Fanatics? Give us the Reader's Digest version.
Well, I would like to think that, we have a much higher awareness and recognition amongst the general just consumer or sports fan. And we certainly do than I started 10 years ago, but hopefully more than the past 2 or 3 years when we kind of separated out from just merchandise. And, what we really like to think is have an ambition to be the most valuable company in sports, and really the brand that can be anything to any sports fan, whether that's shopping for clothes or buying a trading card or placing a bet or going to an event like Fanatics Fest, which hopefully everybody watching this will be at the Javits Center next July 16th to the 19th. Shameless
Mark your calendars.
Shameless plug, as Alex knows we have to do in the public relations world, whether you're in the U.S. or internationally, because we have a big expanding presence there. So, the company has changed radically since I joined, almost 10 years ago, and really like to think that we are setting ourselves apart kind of in the world of sports and culture and entertainment. And, have really this digital platform that manifests into the real world. And, we have 900 e-commerce partners. We run retail at more than 70 stadiums and events. We're doing all the on-site retail at the Olympics in 2028. We do all the NFL games internationally. So I like to think that no matter where sports fans are, you are interacting with the company most times when you know it, sometimes when you don't, based on what we're doing. And we're just trying to really carve out a really special place kind of in this really big world of sports that you guys will talk a lot about. I feel like one of the areas when you look at team rights and media rights, it's live sports is really one of the only things I think that people gather, and you need to be there to believe it. And it's fun to be at a company that's really doing something different in that space.
Yeah. I would love to just ask, because I think a lot of things that I get, a lot of my friends follow you on Instagram, and obviously you get to go to major sports events. You get to see some pretty cool things. But out of your almost 10 years, what would you say has been like the most rewarding thing that you've got to work on?
Yeah, well, I would say your Instagram is pretty damn cool and popular, and you're going to a lot of cool things now. But no, I mean, listen, this, working in public relations and working in sports and in live events and activating at a lot of live events, you do get exposed to a lot of really cool things. I mean, off the top of my head, just when I started, actually, it was that fall. I started in the spring of 2016. That fall of 16 was when the Cubs won the World Series in Game 7. And I was in Cleveland. We were actually doing we were piloting a program with Uber. And at the time it was like people, we were latching onto this company, Uber, that was really starting to kind of grow leaps and bounds. And we were attaching ourselves to this, this on-demand delivery kind of stunt. We were going to deliver merchandise to fans via Uber cars right after whoever won the Indians or the Cubs. So I was actually in Cleveland. And if you remember, the series kind of went on and on. So we stayed, and I had to go to the mall and buy clothes because the series kept going. And Chicago won in an extra inning crazy game. The game ended after midnight. And then me and a colleague of mine, we drove from Cleveland to Chicago overnight. I think it was a 4 or 5 hour drive through the night. And then the next morning we were in Chicago handing out Cubs merchandise via Uber cars. So, that was an incredible memory. And, all the Super Bowls have really been cool. I mean, just to see it, Fanatics Fest last year, because I wasn't there for the first year. We actually were on vacation. We were in Italy, and we had the trip booked before we even signed the lease on the Javits Center. So there was, I had a real reason to not be there. But, Fanatics Fest was something to see. And last year, just to see the reaction from fans and seeing the company, which is crazy. Like, less than 10 years ago, I was trying to tell people what Fanatics was, and nobody, you said, mentioned buy a Giants hoodie or something. And a lot of times people were buying merchandise not knowing really where they were getting it from until it showed up in a Fanatics bag. And that's how just we weren't really a consumer brand then. To see 125,000 people at the Javits Center at the Fanatics Fest, that was like a real surreal moment last summer as well.
That's awesome.
Two of your newer ventures, some people might not be aware of, is number one, of course, you bought Topps trading cards, and you're now in, I guess we call it the trading card business. And two is you're in the gaming business.
Yep.
Fanatics has, matter of fact, I'm on the Fanatics app. I did not have a good day yesterday in the NFL, but those are two new things, and it just seems like the portfolio keeps expanding.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we, really around the time of the pandemic, Michael Rubin, who's, our CEO and just an incredible visionary and entrepreneur, was seeing what we were amassing in the merchandise business, and just that we had all these relationships, all these rights. We were really starting to step it up, from a consumer brand perspective, and was just sort of like, we have this platform, we're interacting with, 100 million sports fans. We can do much more. And that's when obviously we pivoted, became this sports platform. We stepped into the collectibles business, acquired Topps, had a lot of rights in that standpoint, had an ambition to go become, an online gaming kind of brand, and we started Fanatic Sportsbook. And with Top, I mean the team at Tops, and I work a little bit, touch that business. We have a team that kind of day to day oversees the communications, for our whole collectibles business. But the things that brand is doing, and I think I called you like when we were getting it. Well, the pandemic, everybody was kind of digging in back into the cards that they thought they had at home. I came home and we went to the storage unit that you have near the house, and I remember saying, I know we have cards that have been unopened, and we went there and opened those boxes, and they were part of what they called the junk wax era, when they were producing a lot of cards. And I had unopened kits and looked, and I think they were worth $7 or $8. So people were finding needles in a haystack. So it was cool nostalgia, like for me, when we got into that business, and a lot of people that now, work within Fanatics when we acquired Tops. It's really cool to hear those stories, but they're doing such enormous things. They just started the NBA license this year. And we have Cooper Flagg, we have Victor Wembanyama, we have LeBron James, we have a lot of top guys. And then our NFL license starts in April. So we'll have NFL, MLB, and the NBA, by the spring of next year, which is awesome under the Tops brand. And then, the gaming business, I mean, sports betting is obviously, it's everywhere. You can't escape it. And we have an awesome product, and we took our time and were patient to enter and built a really, really strong kind of online sports book that a lot of fans love. We have a great loyalty program and a rewards program where we give you cash back on your bets, and you can use that. When you buy a jersey, you get cash back, and you can use this currency across everything. So we really have a differentiating spot, I think, in that sports betting landscape. And as we're becoming more of this front-facing brand, I think you'll see Fanatics in a lot of these different areas and have fans kind of utilizing multiple parts of the business, which is really cool.
That's great. I mean, it's so cool to kind of see where the trajectory has gone. And I remember like you starting and like being in a small office, and now I've gotten to go to your office in West Village, and it is really amazing to see the expansion of the company and to have you like at the forefront of it, almost, about being there for so long and seeing all of these changes. So, I mean, I think that's incredible.
Yeah, it's really fun. And listen, you work in the space. No hour, 30 minutes is the same when we're involved with every league, with every team, now with all these different businesses. I mean, the variety of stuff that I'm having a chance to do, and that the company is involved in, and the athletes that we're signing deals with, and the events that we are partnering with. It's really incredible. And it's cool. Like for me, when I came in and took a comms job, and I was really like number two, my boss who hired me, who's still there, and myself, and now we've built a bigger team around us. The first year, I would say, was, hey, our job is to really, establish the narrative for the company. And it was calling reporters and trying to get an hour to just say what this company is. And we were very big, we were very complicated. And to now think about those conversations, and now that's pivoted to, hey, let me tell you about the next thing we're getting into and the next thing we're getting into. But to be there, to be at a place, I'm proud to have been at a place for a long time. I was, started on the agency side of the world, where Alex, you are now, and moved around a little bit. And then to find a place that I've been at now for 10 years, certainly very proud of that. And of the company that we've built, and like having a vision and going after it. I think it's really cool to see that, and to be a part of that has been something special.
One more thing for you, Bran, and I know you're planning on taking me to a Super Bowl or something like that in the years to come. But one more thing, and that is, you've always been a sports fan as a young kid, and I got, introduced you to some pro athletes through things we did when you were 7, 8, 9 years old. Well, now you're in the space where you work with these guys. I mean, you're at the Super Bowl party that Michael Rubin throws every year, and, there's Shaq. You got to get him on the red carpet or whatever. Do you ever pinch yourself, when you're around maybe not now because you're older, but guys that would have been your idols 20 years ago?
Yeah. I mean, we've done this party now every year minus the COVID year. And yeah, our team's job is to make sure people know about this event and that everybody that's in that host city is at this event, and every reporter is talking about this event. So it's been incredible to see, like, we've really carved out, I mean, not my doing, our events team's doing, and, you know, the way that the relationships we've built, but it really is, and Alex has been there, it really is like the best party a Super Bowl weekend. I'd love to go one year and just, you know, it won't be when I'm there because I'll always be there in some work capacity, but and just take it in, because we really, and you can't buy tickets. It's really the only large scale private event of that kind that you can't buy your way into. And every year, the amount of money that you'll see people would throw at this thing to be able to get in is staggering. But no, you mentioned Shaq, and it's a funny story because we were, he notoriously shows up. He has a good relationship with Michael. And we were in Minneapolis for the game when the Eagles won that Super Bowl. I'm going to forget what year, 2018, I think it was. And it snowed. It snowed for the only 2 hours it snowed all weekend were 2 of the hours of our event. And we had a line and the weather was terrible. And he came in this crazy long mink fur coat and this mink fur hat on. And he's walking, and my job at that time, I've been able to progress a little bit, but was to stand right at the carpet and make sure every single person, every celebrity that came in, they got on the red carpet, they took photos, they did interviews, people knew that they were there. And he came in, it was probably a combo of, you know, the weather and just, this was his probably 10th party of the weekend or whatever it was. And I was asking him politely to please go this way, and he had no interest in going that way. And I think there's a picture from a side angle of, like, he was like very close to, like, by the shoulders, moving me out of the way. And and there's a good angle of it. And that year he did not walk the carpet. But every other year, I think he's remembered me from that party, and he's kind of busting my chops a little bit. But no, I mean, you know, in Los Angeles, I remember Leonardo DiCaprio was there, and he was in the corner, and he had, you know, the hat over. So, like, that was kind of like wow, we're on this kind of level for this event. The Kardashians, Justin Bieber, you know, Drake, Jay-Z comes every year. So you become a little bit, because we are in this Fanatics as a brand, and Michael with his relationships, we love to put on events. You know, we have a really incredible roster of, you know, celebrity and athlete partners, and some celebrities that have invested in different parts of the business. So we are around it a lot, but yeah, at events, it is still, you know, very, very cool to just be like, this is what I'm doing, you know, for a
when I got to go, I was like, I had very strict instructions, and I was there as a guest, but it was kind of crazy to, like, be like, I'm rubbing shoulders with Kevin Hart, and, like, yeah, I'm just supposed to act normal.
I think Miami was the year that the Miami
that was the year.
And Post Malone performed, and he couldn't, like, he was incredible. And, like, I mean, at the end of the day, he's, you know, you have these people putting on, you know, private shows for 700-800 people, and that's, you know, that's the list. Maybe it gets to 1,000. But no, I mean, it's been from that, you know, to the MLB All-Star Game, to things that we've done, you know, with the Reform Alliance, which, you know, Michael's is a huge proponent for criminal justice reform, and the Reform Alliance that he started. And we speaking of events, just real, you know, one more that throws on. The first year we did for kids whose parents were unjustly incarcerated, we put on a holiday kind of give back event where we took 50 kids in the tri-state area. They did a shopping spree at the NBA store. Then we took them to Teterboro. They took the Patriots team plane to Foxborough for a game. They were on the field. They were in a suite, and our team, along with the Reform team, you know, on behalf of Michael, were the ones putting this thing together. And I'm checking the box, and I remember the bus was going to get a ticket outside the NBA store, and I had to go out and, like, convince the guy not to do it, and we were going to be late for the plane leaving Teterboro. So then you're just like, that was like a little sliver of like a week that you just shut everything else off, and then that was done, and you go back to the next thing. So just being in this world, you know, you kind of never know, but that's one of the things, you know, that we do a lot of good at the company. We do a lot with Make-A-Wish. We're their official sports partner. So to be around kids that are, you know, going through incredibly difficult situations, and to help put them at the Super Bowl or at the MLB All-Star Game or at Fanatics Fest. It's really cool to be able to work on, within those projects as well.
All right, well, stick with us. But speaking of the next thing, I have to talk for a minute about our sponsor, the Crab's Claw Inn, which you have some familiarity with.
Totally.
You and Alex both
Yeah.
spent quite a few years there, which Alex and I
Your
talked about
employees.
last week. But the Crab's Claw is one of my favorite places, especially this time of year. I love the Crab's Claw in the off season. The fireplace is going. The bar is a great place. And I want to tell you, at the bar, they have happy hour all day, every day from Sunday through Thursday. $5 glasses of wine, $1.50 off drinks, and a $5 bar menu that is tremendous. So you can hang at the bar all day, all night, and just enjoy that special thing. But there's a lot more at the Crab's Claw Inn. They have lunch specials. I'm going to have to look at my notes for this. I can only remember so much. But they have lunch specials, 3-course meals complete, $14.99 every day from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And as you guys remember, in your younger days, Thanksgiving Eve is a big deal.
Totally.
Big deal. Well, they are doing special homecoming karaoke on Thanksgiving Eve with an 80s theme. There'll be prizes. There'll be all kinds of fun. People singing and all that karaoke. It's a fun night because so many come back home for the holiday, whether it's kids who are at college, who are 21 and above, or whatever. But a lot of people come down and around, and the place to go is the Crab's Claw Inn. Listen, they're our dear friends, and it's not because they're friends when we talk about it. Place has been around since 1979, I believe. I love the people over there. You will too. I always say about the Crab's Claw, cozy and comfortable. You'll see people. Everyone talks to each other. It's a great place. The food is great. Of course, they're known for their seafood, but I'm telling you right now, their burgers are to die for. So that's the Crab's Claw Inn, Route 35 North in Lavalette, open every day, and you could visit them at thecrabsclaw.com. Now, Alex, watch this segue into food.
You're
We're
telling
on
me
the subject.
segues.
Well, segues. We're very good at segues. So you and I were talking about kind of like weird food combinations, like things that maybe don't seem like they go together, but they do. Like for me, I always remember, Alex, when you were at Penn State, you loved pizza with ranch dressing, which I never really kind of understood, but I guess it is a thing. So I'm
Yeah.
not going to knock you for that. Bacon and chocolate is supposed to be.
I've had it.
You have?
Yeah, the place on the boardwalk that does like chocolate covered everything.
Okay. All right. How about this one? Vanilla ice cream and soy sauce.
Brandon,
It's a thing.
Not-
tried it?
No, I've never tried it, but that
Never?
does not sound for me.
I don't know how to do that.
And I would try something a little bit extravagant, but I've never heard of that one.
All right. Now, both you guys, if I remember correctly, put ketchup on your eggs, which I just don't understand. To me, it's like sacrilegious. But how about grilled cheese and ketchup?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
It's like
Really?
a grilled cheese and tomato sandwich, kind of.
Ugh.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally ketchup.
But I think we were talking about this because, Brandon, I don't know if you've had pop-up bagels. If you haven't, you need to try in the city.
I have, and I've known Darren Ravel for a very long time, and he's an early investor in the business and has been promoting it forever. And
Oh my God.
I actually had it at the Super Bowl last year. They were catering one of the agencies had their like house there for the weekend. They had them there, and yeah, they are as advertised for sure.
Yeah, so for people that don't know, Pop-Up Bagel started in the city. I want to say they've now expanded to multiple cities across the country, but their whole thing is about like rip and dip. So the bagels are super soft and they're meant to be dipped into a cream cheese or a butter. And every week they come out with a different cream cheese and a different butter flavor. So, and they always do collaborations. They've worked with Utz, they've worked with Kraft Mac and Cheese, they've worked with Blue Moon, the beer, but their most recent one was Ocean Spray. I guess gearing up for Thanksgiving, cranberry relish, cranberry sauce, whatever it may be. They've come out with a cranberry butter. So I think that could be good. Think about like a sesame or a salt bagel, but what do you guys think? Is that something that you would dabble in?
I definitely would. I love the idea of the cranberry one. I would be all in on that.
Yeah, I've always been a fan. Even I mean, maybe it's accepted with that brand. I've always been a fan of like the rip and not eating them non-traditionally, not just
Yeah,
cutting it down and but like so that whole thing appeals to me to begin with. But I think yeah, you got to get in the holiday vibe, and that's a good way to do it.
yeah. I'll bring some home because
Oh,
they without all of this, they are amazing bagels. Like they are so good. The line is crazy to get them. They've opened a few locations in the city, but one that stood out to me was when they did the Blue Moon. The bagel was infused with Blue Moon beer, and then they had a Valencia orange cream cheese to pair with it because you know how when you drink a Blue Moon, you get the orange slice.
yeah.
So they are creative. They work with great brands to partner, but the cranberry butter that one stood out to me. It sounded good.
Yeah.
Well,
Sounds good.
similar
Yeah.
similar to them, the Hive in Hoboken.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I was at the Giants game yesterday, and we were hosting some reporters in a suite that we had. And when you got off the elevator at the suite level, Hive was doing a premium sampling
No
thing. So
way.
I brought 2 cinnamon rolls home for
How
Jill
good.
and for Carter. Yeah, they were incredible, and they've done a bunch of really interesting exclusive.
They did Butterfinger.
They did a Butterfinger thing, and yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I'm all here for the collabs. I think the world that we're living in, it's a lot of finding brands with like-minded partners or customers or whatnot and teaming up. Some I'll definitely pass on, but I like the merging of two different brands coming together.
We'll have to keep our eyes open for more of those down
Yeah,
the road.
for sure. For
All right,
sure.
so we got to now move into our final
Favorite.
segment of the night, and probably Alex's personal favorite, Kevin Can't Even, in which it'll probably prove my lack of knowledge and awareness on a variety of things. So I'll just let you take it over.
And I'll let this one, the first one, Brandon can't contribute to because I think he's going to know the answer. But I'll have him chime to maybe commiserate with you a little bit. But the Met Gala, the theme was just announced today. It's costume art is the theme. So it's always up to the attendees to kind of decipher what that means to them, how they dress, and whatnot. But do you know who is the chair and the lead organizer of the Met Gala?
Watch this. Anna Wintour. Come on.
well
I didn't even
done.
have to give you the hint.
No, I got that one. I think it's the most disgusting event in the world every year.
Oh, I love
I
it.
could vomit over it, but okay.
Well, you're not like in the fashion world, but I love it because I love to see what people wear. And
But
like it's
Okay.
always
isn't costume that feels like that could have been the theme? That could be the theme
it,
any year.
it's always art something or costume something. But
It is
I'm sure
insane what
more
that has become.
it's insane. I think more will get more hints about it will get dropped. But Dad, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh,
Now
I'm sorry.
feel free to chime, but I think I kind of set Daddy up for easy with this one because I wanted him to beat his score of last week where he went 1 for 3. What actor slash actress has been in the most Hallmark Christmas movies?
Oh, wow.
I know we'll have a whole segment about this coming closer to the holidays as you're a fanatic, but
Well, it's not Andrew Weber, is it?
no, it is
The
an
actor?
actress.
Oh, it's an actress. Is it? She's still in Hallmark, or did she start her own?
No, I think she's still in.
Oh, wow.
I don't get
Uh,
involved in. I don't get.
yeah, I know. I mean, I've
can't
been
get
watching the
involved in.
Hallmark Christmas movies, but
I cannot get involved.
Lacey,
oh, Lacey Chabet or
yeah,
whatever.
she's been in 40.
But I think now she's on. For some reason, I think she's on a different channel.
Well, she still holds the record
Oh,
according to
okay.
people today.
Yeah. Okay. All
Okay.
right.
And this is for both of you. Brandon, I think you'll be able to get this, but we just wrapped BravoCon. I am a Bravo. I'm an enthusiast. It's a huge 3-day, I think, networking thing in Las Vegas where all your favorite Bravo stars are there, panels, teasing things. So can either of you name one Bravo TV series?
Easily.
Okay.
I'm all over.
Well, is Below Deck a Bravo show?
Yes, okay.
Below Deck brand?
Vanderpump Rules is coming back with, I think, a new
Whole
cast.
new cast.
I think that's how that was my first foray into Bravo was Jill and her friends were all, this was 2012, 13, 14, around then. Everybody was watching Vanderpump Rules. And a couple of, in Jill's college group, the guys, the husbands of her friends, we were like, let's just all decide to watch it as well. And
So
that
it
show
was
is
the
incredible.
early days were
Yeah.
insane.
But Below Deck
is Real Housewives a Bravo show?
Housewives, yes.
Real Housewives of like
the Real Housewives of Insert City.
exactly. That's
Okay.
Bravo, right?
Yeah, so 2 for 3 this week.
Bravo's big time.
All right.
Bravo's huge.
By the way, what actor, well-known actor, finally won an Oscar when he received an honorary Oscar over the weekend at a black tie event?
No idea.
You gotta
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise.
It was his first one?
He's never won an Oscar.
Wow. For what
Yeah.
role?
It wasn't for a role. It was like an honorary, for lifetime or whatever.
The Oscars weren't
And he was very touched by it. He was very humble when he accepted it. Yeah.
I love that. Well, here we go.
All right. So that was pretty good. I did a lot better. I feel a lot more comfortable. And this was fun. It was great having Brandon on because, again, I know his role is so complex, and I know he's always going somewhere and doing something. It's never taken me into any of those things. But maybe for my 80th or 90th birthday, if I'm still around.
I've seen the text. I've seen the opportunities come in for some smaller things.
We went to the
small things.
One of the things I did take both of you to was to the Rangers game when Mark Messier had his jersey retired.
That was huge.
And were you the 2015 World Series or was that my brother Brian?
We were together.
No, we
were all together. But was that through you?
Yeah.
I wasn't at Fanatics yet, but I did secure the tickets.
Yeah. All right. So, I've gotten to go to a few things.
Yeah.
Listen, this was fun. Went a little longer than we normally like to go. We like to keep these somewhat short for those of you out there. Somebody told me they like to watch it when they're on their treadmill, whether you're taking a little walk around the neighborhood or walk on the boardwalk. Just put the headsets on, download the podcast, Spotify, YouTube, Apple. You can also go to shoresportsinsider.com. Our partners who've been unbelievable. Steve over there has been unbelievable each week. You can go right on the website. You'll see click on podcast. You can listen to it that way. Tell your friends. We need listeners. We need viewers. We want you people to join us. We take suggestions. We're working on a couple of other sponsors. So hopefully we'll have more down the road, but this was a lot of fun catching up with you, Brandon. And of course, Alex, we'll do this again next week.
See you at Thanksgiving next week.
Oh, that's good.
Next week it'll be our Thanksgiving special.
Yes.
And then a good recap after that.
And then a good
good recap.
You'll be at my house. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Everyone, thanks for watching the Dad and Daughter Download. We hope you join us each and every week, usually on Wednesday, but you can watch it whenever you want. It's there for you. Until then, I'm Kevin Williams, and she's the daughter,
Alex Williams.
And for Brandon, thanks for watching. Have a good night, everyone.